start with basics. Who are you?
My name is Damien Flynn. I am the Nicolai brand ambassador and sales manager for nearly 12 years now. I live in Paris. I'm a proud French, even if I don't have any French blood in me.
Your hobby?
I like traveling. I like just having fun with my friends. I like to go out, to dance. And I have one specific hobby also, is like I like to do quiz shows, which is kind of odd. The biggest one was 10,000 euros in one single quiz show.
Well, that was Damien's hobby.
Today, I want us to concentrate more on Nicolai fragrances. The reason why is because we proudly carry them in our store, and I decided to do a little like a fun, laid-back interview with Damien so he can answer the questions. The biggest things that I think fascinated me when I learned more about Patricia, because at first when we introduced the brand, it was purely on the name, because the name Nicolai is a Russian name.
Indeed.
And it's it's
looks Russian, but it's not.
Yeah, and it's masculine. So I was like, who's that guy who runs that brand? And then I learned that it was Patricia de Nicolai. Funny enough, and that's what captivated me the most, is that she's a very strong-willed person that went against the crowd.
Totally, yes. She's a big feminist on the perfumery field, indeed.
Yeah.
Because since, Patricia has a very interesting story herself. She was born in the Guerlain family. So she's part of this atmosphere of perfume since she was born. And, as she grew up, she got interested about perfumes, and she smelled so many perfumes all around. She was very close to her grandmother, who learned her many things about the sense of nature and everything. And so she started to have a vibe of perfume, and maybe why not working within the family business? But that was a little issue actually at the time, because the family was very controlled by the man. Since the beginning. The perfumer was only men. And
No
so
women
no women at all.
Oh, wow.
And so to see that a woman could maybe join the company was a little bit odd. But I would say it's not only for Guerlain, I mean, in the perfume industry in general, there was not so many women at the time. And so Patricia fight herself in, and without the family support, she did everything. She did chemistry studies, then she went to a perfume school dedicated to create perfume. After graduation, she works in what we call big composition companies, these big companies that create perfume for the masses that we all know. And that was also very hard for Patricia, because she was a young girl. She was the only girl in the team. And there was a big competition in that field, because they all want to show who is the best when you receive a brief. And so that was tough, but she succeeded and she wanted to continue, and she had a little success even within the big company she worked on. But then at the end she was also very tired and very frustrated, because she realized that something was wrong here. There was no creativity on what she was asking to do. It was driven by marketing. It was driven by low budget ingredients, and because it needs to be profitable, and the money investing is first on the marketing. Advertise, you have to pay Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, they cost a lot of money.
Right.
And so Patricia, at some point, it was the end of the 80s, she wanted to make a little break. She was pregnant with her third child, and she said to her husband, maybe it's time for me to make a break and I see what I do. And then her husband was very intelligent, and he was a feminist himself, because he believed in the talent of his wife. He said, well, I have an idea. Let's create our own brand. And Patricia said, okay, but why? Who will buy a Nicolai perfume, And he said, well, let's try, I believe in your talent, I think you're great. It's like a family thing we can do together, and, at least let's try. And that was something very, very unusual. First of all, for women also to launch a brand, but also just for a person to launch a niche brand. Because this brand that we all know now was not developed at all at the end of the 80s. You had brands such as L'Artisan Parfumeur, Annie Goutal, Diptyque a little bit, even if Diptyque at the beginning it was just a decoration store.
Right.
And they sent candles, but just candles, it was not even scented. And so it was very, a dare move to do this. And so Patrick says, okay, let's do this. But if I do this also, I want to assume the fact that I am the creator. Because she thinks also that the perfumer most of the time is the hidden artist.
Right.
Everybody knows Chanel No. 5, everybody knows La Vie Belle. Do you know who is the perfumer behind?
Exactly.
Well, maybe you do, because you know.
Yeah, you work there.
But the general public, they don't know. They know about the brand, but they don't know about the perfumer. And Patricia said, with Nicolai, I am the brand and I am the artist. So
Right.
this is why I'm using my name to create that brand, and that was very important to put forward the role of the perfumer. She actually was inspired by Guerlain. Guerlain did the same thing.
Yeah.
Guerlain, it's a name and it's a brand. So she wanted to continue this because Guerlain's idea was, very original, and she wanted to pursue this thing, this family tradition. Once again, no family support, but still, she has this DNA in her
Right.
to continue this. And also, when she created this, even today, people say, "Oh, you are one of the pioneers of niche. You are also sometimes they call her the queen of niche." And Patricia, she's
Yeah.
very modest also
Yeah.
about it. And she feels, for example, that she doesn't like so much the word niche because she said, when I created the brand, I was just creating a brand following the great tradition of great French brands.
Right.
The word niche didn't exist. That was not my idea.
But she pioneered.
But she
niche.
pioneered, and actually she pioneered, and she was very happy to do it because she said also now that the niche movement is so lively. You see brands
Yeah.
creating every day, every minute.
Yeah.
People, Patricia, she's amazed to see that, and she thinks that all these people are very courageous because it's a tough job.
Yeah.
And for her, it was tough, of course, but it was limited.
But she
So-
also didn't know what she was doing.
No,
she was
it's-
doing something great.
Yes,
and
she was. She didn't know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, at the beginning, it was very tough because when they opened the store, it was also very limited. Patricia doing everything herself with a
Yeah.
little lab, and the first sales was actually very complicated
Yeah.
because people ran to the store. It was a nice store, still our first store in Paris, and they thought it was just a regular perfume store.
Yeah,
So
you
they
have to
wanted to buy
educate.
maybe Guerlain, Chanel, Dior,
Yeah.
and then they said, "No, we only sell Nicolai here." But what is this? I don't know, and it was confusing and difficult.
Yeah.
And it was tough, I will say. And the beginning, they received support thanks to home scents, I would say, because home scents were more easy to sell than perfumes. And so with candles, diffusers, sprays, they were one of the first brands who actually developed, I would say, high quality home fragrances.
Yeah.
And then after 3-5 years, then people got interested about perfume
Yeah.
thanks to foreigners, I would say. Not very much the French people. French people, they are very conservative of perfumes because Chanel, Dior, Guerlain is already
Yes, of
French.
course.
So they know this, and they're not very open so much in terms of niche. And everything changed because of one specific guy, called Lucas Turin, who wrote a book called The Perfume Guide. And in that book, he said that it was the first time someone wrote a book about niche perfumes. No internet at the time, of course not.
Yes.
And so the book was a bestseller. And suddenly in our store, from which we were only used to see like local Parisian buy candles, we suddenly arrived like a Japanese guy, or an
Right.
American, or Saudi.
It was all over the world.
All over the world,
that
the book, yes.
Yeah.
And they were wondering why they're there. And they say, because we want to smell one specific fragrance, which is New York. But why New York? Is there because in the book, and we didn't know.
Yeah.
They
It was
say
an
on the book that
advertisement.
New York is one of the top 5 fragrances he ever smelled in his life.
And I
Totally.
feel like this is like a very, I guess, common approach for you, for Nicolai fragrances.
It is.
I feel like you're taking a lot of step into for it to grow naturally versus reaching out and targeting the bloggers directly and saying, like, get it advertised.
It's true. I think that our strength also is because we are there for a long time. We are celebrating 35 years this year. So, I mean, people know we are here. And so, even if we don't advertise nothing, people want to have interest.
For us, the biggest challenge is to go back. It's kind of just switch back from excessive advertisement of bloggers into still keeping it more niche. As a store, we even like trying to convert people. Of course, first when they come, they get whatever they saw on
Sure,
TikTok.
of course.
But once they get a taste, they want something more unique and more exclusive, not something that somebody advertised because they got paid for it or got a free product, but they want something more exclusive. And for us, on our and we always have a list of perfume houses where we're like, okay, can we finally talk about the gem? Not that the other things are not, but can we talk about niche? Because if that's where you are in the store, that's what you came for. You came for something more exclusive versus something everywhere. Because it's like almost like niche can have right now a division, niche mainstream
Correct.
and niche.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's at times is annoying, but we're happy you are in the category of niche and that you're staying there.
Well, in a way, also thank you for this young generation also because, like I said, they are attracted to you to buy the perfume they see on TikTok a lot. But then, thanks to you guys and thanks to all the retailers who work in the niche movement because you are very you know everything, and all the staff that you have is also very well known on what they sell. So they are able to shift, like you said, to
Yeah.
other kind of perfumes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it doesn't matter. At least you try. And and then people realize, oh yes, there is other great things to discover,
Yes.
not only things you find on TikTok.
For sure. So going back to Patricia, I
Yes.
think like as a business owner, it's really easy to kind of, just feel the same way. She started from educating people into something that was not well known. That's at least how I feel in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
We started with candles and diffusers as well
Yes, I
when
know.
we were in North Hills. And now as we are in Crabtree and we're becoming a little bit more well known, people are coming for more like the brands. And I feel like still, at least here, people still want Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana, and all
Sure.
this stuff, and you kind of like, yay, listen, we have something else. And a lot of people that walk in the store, they're like, do you sell Louis Vuitton? We're like, we don't sell designer brands, I'm sorry, but we can find you something, like similar or better. So as a part of her trade, I think she's a very strong-willed person that is also like knows her road, and she's staying pretty focused.
Yes.
How it is reflected in the brand, and how it is for you to work with her as a personality of somebody who is like, I'm sure it was very noticeable with gourmand sense.
Yes.
Like it was hard to bend her to do something different. So let's talk about this.
It's Patricia indeed has she knows what she wants to do, and that's when she started the brand, like I said, she didn't want to have any marketing limits or budget limits. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. And fine, that was the idea. It's the perfumer who decides. And so she decided first to make perfume she likes. And then from time to time, she realized that there is other field that she didn't like so much, but that she had to do it. And I remember it first started like 10 years ago when we did oud. Nicolai was one of the last brand to do oud perfume. For a simple reason that Patricia didn't like oud so much. And also she also didn't want to do oud just because to make oud, which was specifically to please the Arabic customers and to go in this market. She said okay, and one day she said I will do oud, fine, but I will do it in my way because I want to remain this elegance and this piece of Paris, this piece of French tradition, even in like oud perfumes. And she did that with the collection we have. She used very commonly traditional ingredients linked to the oud. She did rose oud and amber oud and incense oud, and all three, showed like a new way of doing oud. They call it like French Oriental, westernized oud. And people were happy about it because they were so used of regular ouds. And when we started with this, okay, it's like different touch of oud.
Was different.
And same thing also with the gourmands happened because
so what exactly is happening? Like you come into Patricia and saying, Patricia, we need gourmands.
it's more difficult than that. I think Patricia realized herself because she's aware of many things. She's part of a board in Paris to smell the new novelties, and they classify with other perfumer from which category it goes. And with more and more perfume they discover, they realize there was more and more perfume in the gourmand section. And Patricia was puzzling, say, okay, people like gourmand, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this, and because also the problem, Patricia wants to keep the elegance all the time.
Yes.
And for her, she thinks that gourmand sometimes can be just too easy or too sticky.
Because this is elegance. This was
Yes,
a ballerina.
I know, but that was the idea. She said, okay, fine, I will do gourmand.
But what do you mean, fine? Like you came, you said, listen, I'm travel. Gourmands are good, and then
It's true.
I've heard the story about girls that work.
Yes,
with.
yes.
So
Well,
tell us the whole thing.
okay, so indeed, Patricia realized herself by discussing with her colleagues, perfumer.
Okay.
She realized it was a thing. Then also, indeed, she has feedback from me and from my colleague Victoria because we are all over the world and we see customers and retailers, what do you want, what do you like, and we realized that it was a lot about gourmand recently. And then of course my boss, he's the boss, so we need to have that kind of thing. He said, yeah, but we need to have more gourmand.
And then
what
she
could
says
we do?
no, and then you say again.
She didn't say no like this. She said, I will think about it.
Okay,
but
great.
because she was, I think, looking at what to do about the gourmand.
Right.
What will be the inspiration.
Right.
And you say indeed now the team of Patricia is younger, is growing. It's like a lab now. It's just not Patricia alone. She works with a team.
Same on that Parisian street
Yes,
where
same
you
on that
can
Parisian
walk
street.
and see.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Next to the Louvre area. And she has indeed two assistant perfumer, two girls, young girls, so they also have ideas of what to do about gourmand. So they figured out what kind of scent they would done, and they actually had 3 ideas. And so the problem was like, we had 3 ideas, but which one to choose? And then we did test within the office. This is good because in Nicolai, everybody is part of the concept to develop. It's not closed production of the perfume. They always ask my opinion, the opinion of the sales staff, of everybody. That's very nice also from the company. And depending to the people, there were some people who like this one and the other one and the one, and then my boss said, okay, fine. You know what? We didn't have gourmands. It's the first time we do. Maybe we're late on gourmands, so we're gonna launch 3 times, 3 all the way right now.
And was this 3 ideas?
It was
Pavlova
these 3
said-
ideas.
Oh wow.
Yes, and then the ideas. Then we need to find a name, and then Patricia had the idea. Say, yeah, but to me, I was inspired by French pastries, so it needs to be about French pastry. And the
Okay,
first
got it.
name she had, first of all, was macaron. She wanted to use the word macaron. Everybody knows macaron all over the world, and she wanted that name.
Yeah.
And so she had a perfume with this caramel facette, with also almonds, vanilla, a hint of patchouli and rose,
We felt like it was boozy.
and a little bit boozy because of the
Yeah.
Davana inside. That
Okay.
Davana gives this sensation.
Yeah.
And so she called it macaron, adding bourbon,
Yeah.
because bourbon is a reference to vanilla.
Uh-huh.
So macaron
I
bourbon
would
was
feel
the
it's
first.
like a bourbon.
No, actually, why it's called like this, it's because Bourbon used to be the former name of the island of Réunion, which is a French island next to South Africa. And before the French Revolution, it was called the Bourbon Island. Bourbon was the last name of the French kings. Of course, the Revolution happened, and of course, we had to put away all the mention of the monarchy. And so they changed the name on Réunion, which means meeting, like a common meeting. And vanilla, the best vanilla is actually made here. So the vanilla, the best vanilla used in perfume comes from the city of Réunion, but we still call it vanilla Bourbon. So when you have the name Bourbon on the perfume, it's a clear reference to vanilla.
To vanilla. Got it.
And so she had this, and then for the 2 other cakes, then she quickly find also Saint-Honoré, which is a very creamy, milky hazelnut perfume. Saint-Honoré is a very well-common pastry in France. It's like a little shoe, very
I never
nice.
knew. I read about it.
It's very nice. Everybody know this. And also Honoré in France is the holy scent of the pastry makers. So this is why they create this dessert at the first place. And so it was. She likes the name, and so it really reflects the scent of the perfume. And then for the last one, we had this very exotic fruits thing. And then we thought about it. What
Pavlova.
could we do? And so we did find pavlova. But some people said, "Oh yeah, but I'm used to another kind of pavlova. I know the meringue with red fruit,
Yes.
because that's the most common pavlova people know."
You are used for
Yes,
the
we are
one
used.
with fruit.
Yes.
Because we are not. We have fruits on the top.
Yes, red fruit, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily, and no passion fruit.
Okay. Well, our inspiration is easy. We comes to the original pavlova, which is from Australia.
Oh wow.
Because it
Well,
was
see, I thought it was from Russia.
no, it was the idea why it's called pavlova actually, which is a Russian name.
She's a ballerina.
She's a ballet dancer,
Yeah.
and she did a tour in Australia, and she was so popular there. And so, in order to recreate her beauty and her legerty, they created a cake, a meringue cake, very airy and very fruity because she was very colorful too. And as a tribute to her, they call it the pavlova. So it's a meringue, and in Australia they put pineapple, passion fruit. They put that
So
kind
it's
of thing.
not French. Or in France, you
No, the
use
French use it a lot because it's very
wow.
commonly used in French pastries. But the original pavlova at the origin was actually made in Australia. And to be honest, in Australia, it's quite a big hit, and also it's going to be more hit
This
right now.
fragrance?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
for Christmas time, because this is what they eat in Christmas time. They
That's
eat
amazing.
pavlova, the exotic fruit. So this one is like, yes, pineapple, passion fruit, a hint of rum, coconut also. Maybe we could have called it pina colada in a way. But yes, we liked this pavlova, and from the 3, it's my little favorite.
So you were in pavlova.
I am wearing pavlova right now. Yes, from the
Okay.
3, I like the 3 to be honest. But my little favorite is actually pavlova. I think it's very hairy, very nice on me, and even for men, I think it's very nice on the guy. And I think also, it's not pineapple perfume. Like for example, we have another perfume called Caravanserai. It's not a coffee perfume. The thing is, that's just what you smell on top of it. And because Patricia believes a lot on the evolution of perfume, to her, top, middle, and base note is very important. Some brand thinks some perfume needs to be linear. Patricia, no. So you will feel like a freshness on all the perfumes that you smell of Nicolai, but
Yeah.
then you smell all
the nice warm things at the end. And pavlova, you don't feel the pineapple all way long. It's nice at the beginning. At the beginning now.
But then you'll see by the end of the day, the pineapple will
mellows
fade a
down.
little bit, and it will say like it all faded on the nice meringue vanilla base note of the perfume.
It's nice. What was your other favorite before the Gourmand collection?
I had several. My first really big crush was Cuir Cuba. To me, it's one of the most original we have in the collection. It's this weird, tobacco, cigar leaves mixed with some anise and licorice and some magnolia. I think it's very, unusual and
Very
and so
masculine.
nice. Very masculine, but I have to be honest, it goes very well on, Eastern European ladies. It became a hit in Russia, even
Of
for
course.
ladies.
They love crazy
They
heavy
love-
stuff.
Yes, I know.
We just got Olivia Kress that came
Okay.
in to visit us. And like the most I find challenging fragrance in his collection is Night. Well,
Okay.
guess what? The most popular in Russia.
Okay.
He's like, all the Russian ladies, they just wear Night.
I know.
I'm like, wow. And I smell it. I'm like, oh.
And it amazed Patricia a lot because all our perfume are mixed anyway. We're not here to say this one is for male or female, but of course we know that this one is more for male or female, but we don't say it, and everybody's open, and that's fine. But Patricia herself, sometimes she's a little bit, fascinating to see that when she created Cuir Cuba, when she created also Biker Leather or Caravanserai, to her she thinks it was very, very much masculine. But we see a lot of ladies, and especially Russian ladies, who likes this one, but also indeed Biker Leather, Caravanserai.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
it's
this
nice.
is a huge hit in Russia.
And this one, yes, Pavlova is very
Right.
huge. It's going very well.
It's amazing. When I smelled it first at Essence, I was like, there's no way. There's just no way I'm smelling what I'm smelling at the Nicolai counter. Because I'm like, I can't believe that she would create something like this, but I was fascinated. The whole I brought the team the strips.
Yes.
That was like almost nothing in there.
Okay.
They couldn't wait until we could get the Gourmand collection because it's like it was something like atomic bomb. Like you just don't
Yes,
expect.
and I'm very happy that you were one of the first actually to have it.
Yeah.
It was like a secret.
I was with
thing.
Greta.
Yes. I
And
know.
Greta was like, when is it coming? And she was anticipating. When everybody started talking about it, she couldn't wait because she's huge into Gourmand.
Yeah, and it's true that people can wait. It's the first time ever for Nicolai that we see are so highly demanded because we presented this officially last March in Milan, in Excellence.
Yeah.
But we officially launched it in September. So from March to September, we received a lot of message. A lot of pressure from retailers say we need to have it now. So no, we have to keep it. And also a lot of emails, phone calls. Say what is this? We want to know. And we never had so many articles. Even now, you talked about socials. It's the first time also we see so many people getting interested about Nicolai. People who didn't know about Nicolai, who tried to discover now the brand because of this, and they're also very happy to discover other things also from us. So we are very happy with all these three new launch.
Why not distributor in America who can take care of all these needs? Send it out to 200 bloggers, advertise it on TikTok, infiltrate the gray market.
The thing with distribution, we don't know because we had some discussion, and for example, with some distributors who said they were about to do exactly the same thing what we're doing right now, but like with higher coefficient, it was pointless for us. They were just doing the same thing, and some of the retailers said that they were kind of puzzling. I was like, but if you're working with distributor, I don't know. So we like this direct relation. Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. But like I said, we will see what will happen. Maybe it will change.
Right.
Maybe we have other ideas. The brand is growing a lot also, so there is maybe more and more demand, more and more things to do, but we'll see. But that's our
you
strategy.
handle American market.
Yes, for
pretty
the moment,
well.
yes, for the moment we are very happy with what we're doing, but of course we can do more.
Right.
And there is so many things to do, but we'll see, step by step.
You're loyal to the brand. It's a little bit different than you're just working for the brand.
That's
Why
true.
do you think you're loyal? What
Well, I
makes
learned to
you-
become loyal because I felt part of the family since the beginning, and it was my first real job, I would say. Before that I was doing PR, but it was my first little job, and and I didn't know if I wanted to do this. But then I learned a lot by doing this. They trust me a lot, and I will be always grateful to them for sure. So yes, I am a little bit loyal, and I feel part of the family, and I'm very happy. So
And you grow in the company.
and I grew a lot with the company.
Yeah.
Every year it's better. I have more responsibility. Recently it's been 5 years now, but I was doing all these sales in the store. Then I did some little PR. Then I was too curious, asking a lot about sales, and said, okay, fine, you can do this. And then I learned a lot about Patricia. I went to a conference and everything. And I was like, I can do this, maybe because it's funny, you know, because Patricia cannot do conference all over the place. And then I invented my job of brand ambassador. I said to my bosses, I want to do this. Maybe I can just represent you, because I know Patricia cannot be there. But I can be your voice all over the world and do that's the training sessions or events. And, you know, and I feel now legitimate to do it. At the beginning, not at all, because I didn't know nothing, like zero. Tell me about top notes. I was like, what is this? But I learned because of thanks to Patricia. She's a very good teacher.
What fragrance in the collection do you consider the true masterpiece? Maybe you don't like it, that's fine.
I would say Bois Belize.
Okay.
Yes, Bois Belize is, you know, we talk about what the perfume I liked. I talked about Cuir Cuba, but now recently I rediscovered Bois Belize. I think it's a very well balanced perfume. It's a very nice smoky tea. You know, bergamot also fragrance. You feel like lost in the Amazonia when you wear this. It's so nice. I mean, they're all nice, of course, but I would say this one is one of Patricia's masterpieces for sure.
And it was first available only at the Parisian boutique.
Yes, because the idea came just like, it was like a little marketing idea, because, you know, when you come to Paris, which is the city of fashion, you go with all these French Parisian brand, you go to Hermes, Dior, Chanel, and sometimes you can buy one product that's only there. And you can say, oh, I was in Paris, because that's only exclusive there. And we said, we need to have this. And so we created this perfume, and it became very popular. But then we realized it became too popular. Maybe we are losing sales internationally. What should we do? Because that's also the challenge. It's good to have a nice perfume just for you, but maybe you are losing sales. So we, okay, and Patricia said, yeah, I'm okay, I'm alright. I think people from all over the world will like it, so let's do it. And then she had a new exclusive right now, which is an Iris perfume called Iris Médicis, which is actually better as a exclusive.
Go the same.
We will see. I think because Bois Belize was more international scent. Iris Médicis is very French, so I mean it's very Parisian. So when you go to Paris to the store to buy this, it's okay. It's that's why it's very exclusive. And then Bois Belize, then we launched it everywhere, and it was a very big hit. It's a good thing with this perfume that everybody likes it, because it's like common for everybody. You know, we have perfumes like more oriental, like patchouli or Merwood, which are very strong for Arabic customers, for example. But if you go to the Asian part, not very much. Over there, it's more with fig tea, for example, which is a big hit. With Bois Belize, everybody likes it. The Arabic customers, they really feel the strength of it. In Asia, they love the citrusy part. In Europe also it goes very well. So yeah, it fits for everybody. So and it's becoming one of the best sellers now. Patchouli is still #1, I have to say, internationally, thanks to the Arabic sales. But Bois Belize is coming more and more higher now, and maybe one day it will come first.
Well, thank you so much, Damien.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
It was
such
my
a pleasure.
And we're going to the event right after at La Perfumerie, where we proudly carry Nicolai brand, and we're excited we'll be able also to showcase beautiful candles.
Sure, Christmas candles.
Christmas candles, which we love, and we particularly bring them for Christmas because we feel like they're just, I don't know, there's like a little piece of Paris in our hands, and I love that very, very much. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon back, because the last time you were here was 2022?
Yes, it was 2022, yes. I hope to come back every year, at least once a year.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, thank you.